My name is William Mack. My friends call me Bill. I'm originally from Alamogordo, and I do stained glass for a living. I've been doing stained glass for 33 years. I specialize in repairs, restoration, and I'm a commissioned artist. I love my glass. I've been in Silver City for 8 months. I was driving through, coming back from Tucson, found myself downtown, got out of my truck, and said, this is the place for me. And I went back to Tularosa, I packed up my stuff, and I moved here. And everybody was going, why Silver City? And I said, it's the best town I've ever seen.
Seen or felt? Was there something?
Both. It's mostly a feel with me. Because I drove downtown once, and then I parked my truck and I got out and I looked one way and I looked the other. And I went, this place just has a splendid feeling. And that's what got me here.
And what got you started in doing glass work?
Well, to begin with, I was in the service. I got out of the service, and I was a commercial diver in California. And I got out of that, and I picked up a glass cutter in 1975, and I've been cutting glass ever since.
You walked away from diving, and that was it, huh?
I just walked away from it, you know. It wasn't conducive to the environment or the marine life or the ecology or anything along that line. And I just had no part of that, you know. And I just wanted to create things of beauty. That's what was important to me in my life. And I've worked on all different kinds of glass. I've been a commercial residential glazer. I've worked for many, many master glazers, master artisans. I more or less self-apprenticeship myself. Mostly, not so much by intent, but by accident. Because I'd work at one place for a certain kind of knowledge, and then I'd go to another place, and I'd work there. And then all of a sudden I realized that, you know, I'm pretty good at what I do. You know, I like glass cutting. It's a very, very physical thing. It lends itself well to me, about me. And I started working for these other guys, and I just worked my way up the ladder. And it's probably one of the better educations that I got that you can get. Because I worked for some very, very mean, crusty, old gentlemen. And they taught me the ropes. One thing they did teach me was discipline in my work. If you're going to do this job, you're going to learn the job. You're going to learn the aspects of it. You're going to learn what you're doing and why you're doing it. This is what they taught me. I worked for people that were master glazers, master painters, master builders. I just worked for a lot of people like that. And they were nice people, but they were pretty gruff in regards that this is the way it's done. This is what I'm going to teach you, and if you can't do it the way I show you the first time, you're fired. And that's the way I worked. That's the people I worked under. And that's how come when I do my work here, people ask me, how come it takes you so long to do this? And I say, well, I'm very disciplined. If I can't get it right the first time, then I'll go back and I'll redo it, and I'll redo it till I get it to where it's supposed to be. After 33 years, sometimes I almost think I know what I'm doing. Can I read you a caption?
Sure.
Every time, this is what I read to myself when I think I've done an exceptionally good job, or I think I'm a hot snot. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is by Frederick Carter. He's the man that put Steuben glass together. And it says, the artistry of Frederick Carter holds an important place in the history of American glass. An innovator who engaged in endless research while maintaining a working knowledge of every major glass-making technique of the past 35 centuries. I've been doing glass for 33 years. Sometimes I think I know a lot, and other times I don't. So I'm looking forward to the next 33 years when I can gain as much knowledge and share as much knowledge as I possibly can.
And when you say share, what do you mean by that?
Well, I teach stained glass. I teach a lot of different aspects of this, but I don't teach the way I was taught. I'm a pretty easy guy to work around, you know. I'm not going to bust your chops, you know. And everything I'm going to teach you is, I'm going to refine it down from 33 years of doing glass into the easiest, most efficient way of doing it. You don't have to learn all the different things that I learned in order to do this. Because I'm working on religious institutions, I get to work on all of them. There's not too many denominations that I have not worked for. It gives me the opportunity to meet the people that run the churches, the synagogues, the religious institutions. I get to meet them and work with them on a personal basis. I get to work with the congregations on a personal basis. That's probably one of the better parts of my job. Being with the people, being around the people, having the opportunity to work with all these different people. I would never have had the opportunity to do that. Some of the different religious institutions are great, wonderful people. And the older the church, the better the people seem to be. They seem to appreciate more the kind of work that I do, the difficulties, the demands of what I have to do. Because my responsibilities are extremely, extremely high when I work on other people's windows. I have a responsibility to the current owners of the windows. I have a responsibility to the people that made the windows originally, and I have a responsibility to myself to do the best kind of work that I can do. I take it very seriously. Going into some of these religious centers, spiritually speaking, has almost dropped me to my knees. It has been so wonderful to be involved with these people, to get to know these people, to get to understand more of their religious aspects of their lives. My favorite style is Victorian. It's a very hard style. It's a very intricate, elaborate, complex kind of a system window to build. The glasses alone are phenomenal that you can work with. I have a palette of glass that it's old restoration glassworks, stuff like that I work with. And a lot of people, I'd say 90% of the time, they allow me to take their idea and make it better. And that affords me the opportunity to take my knowledge, take the years I've been doing this, and use the glasses, the designs, the different systems, and combine it into a window that I would say 99% of the time my clients are just amazed that with the concept that they gave me and what the window comes out to be, they're always very pleased, which is pretty rewarding to me.
These pieces that are sitting here in front of you, this is a commissioned piece that you're working on here?
This is a shop piece here.
A shop piece, what do you mean by that?
This is something I'm making for myself.
Okay. So that kind of answered my question. That is like a Victorian piece then?
Exactly. Okay. This particular kind of glass is made by Kokomo. Kokomo is the oldest glass manufacturer in the United States. They've been making this kind of glass since 1888. Wow. They made glass for Tiffany. They made glass for John Lafarge. What's nice about working with Kokomo is that a lot of churches that I do restoration work on used Kokomo glass. So I can generally find the kind of glasses that I need to use. If I can't, I can go back to Kokomo, give them a glass sample, and they can actually make as close to, as possible to the same existing glass.
And the colors, has the colors changed more? You know, they say they've been there since 1880s.
Yeah.
And
Same
they still
glass.
have the same colors
Right.
as they did.
Right. This particular glass here, this came out of a 100-year-old church that the windows completely fell apart, and they brought it to me in buckets. So this particular piece of glass here is over 100 years old. And this is the same, almost the same as what they manufacture to this day. This is one of the original pieces of glass that came out of the church. This kind of glass, this texture on the glass, it's called a granite back. And it's a very rough glass to work with. And when it cuts, and when you break the glass, it almost has a serrated edge on it. So what I try to do is, on this particular window, because it's my shop window, my cuts are very, very, very exaggerated. And it takes a long time for me to do this kind of cut out of this kind of glass. I have to take it very slowly because I can break this glass real quick. It doesn't take very much for me to break this glass. So I get it to a certain point, and then I have certain machines that will dress the edges. It will clean up the chips and dings on it, and it almost makes it 40% stronger than the first cut. Then that way, in my personal windows, well, all my windows, I dress all my edges so that in every piece of glass in my windows, this piece of glass, that piece of glass, that piece of glass is almost 40% stronger than a regular cut. So that adds 40% more strength to my windows. And people come in and they say, "What is taking you so long?" And I say, well, it's because I take care of each and every piece of glass on an individual basis. This is just one of the many things I've learned from being involved in all the different aspects of my glass. Commercial, residential, glazing, auto, all the different art forms, being involved with the actual glass manufacturers. This is some of the knowledge that I've gleaned through the years.